Welcome to Uping Stock Trend Prediction channel. So in this video, I will talk about the Tesla price changes. So in last week, I will talk about the significant drop of the Tesla price, explain the why and what will happen during the last week, and also what will happen next week. Provide some kind of evaluation or prediction for the next week. So this is a Tesla monthly chart. This is a Tesla daily chart. So last week basically is a special week. Tesla released their earning report on January 26th. And also on January 26th, the Federal Reserve, they also had a meeting and provided the clearest hint that they could possibly raise the interest rate in as early as in March. So there's some special event, and Tesla stock price has had a significant drop on Thursday. Basically, they're almost $103 drop from 932 to dropped to 829. And for the last week, the difference between maximum and the minimum price is about $197. That type of a significant difference. So the maximum price is 988 and the minimum price is 791. So Uping video number 57 uploaded to YouTube before January 24th. That's a prediction for the last week. In that video, I have a prediction that the Tesla price will also have a decreasing trend in early week, and also will have some kind of increase in later of the week. And I provided the evaluation prediction about the price range. Minimum price is 908 and the maximum price is 978 for the early week. And you see, basically, this is a Tesla weekly chart, and the closing price for before the last week is here, and there's a special data there. So I provided the minimum price, predicted the minimum price for the last week. I mentioned this point, okay? So that's this band, and mentioned this kind of highest maximum price is $978, is around this area. So the actual price for last week is $988 is this point, $988. So that's just about $10 difference from what I predicted for the last week. So $10 difference out of $978, that's still very small error, high accuracy. And when I mentioned this, the minimum price for the last week is this point, because this is kind of for this band of fluctuation. And during the last week, it dropped to this one. And you see for the monthly chart, for this, it dropped to this about $791, okay, $793 basically, around this point. So if you take a look at the monthly chart, and monthly chart, the Friday before last week is around here, and at that time I mentioned it will go down to this kind of a special dot at that time, and right now it dropped a little bit below this trend line, and you see this kind of a trend line for the daily chart is basically dropped to this point, close to this bottom trend line. That's happened for the last week. So for this kind of more drop for this minimum price is kind of partially because of some kind of fear and the uncertainty caused by this kind of Federal Reserve's news about if there's a potential increase in the interest rate, and also that's also because of some significant investors, they may have already preset some options, so those options also need to be closed in last week, so they will kind of take advantage of all those kind of the fear and the uncertainty during the stock market. So anyway, for this type of additional drop down to the about $791. So actually that's also predicted by my other models. So I have shown this kind of a trade map model in some of my previous videos, but at that time I didn't figure out a good way to zoom it this kind of axis, y-axis, so that has the scale is not a optimized scale, so those kind of plots are very small at that time. So I recently, this week, I changed that kind of scaling, so it is zoomed up. So you see this is based on another model, trade map. So this model is a very good model to provide some big picture, some kind of key milestones that the stock price, Tesla stock price will fluctuate. So that's something like printed out those major milestones about the effective support and the resistance. So for example, this is a daily chart on the trade map model. So the last Friday, that's last Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday and Monday, so that's last week's data, and you see based on the daily chart, and when it increases to this maximum price, it already becomes a purple dot, so that means it's become a strong resistance, so it can't just increase and then it dropped to this level. And on Thursday and Friday, it's also a kind of purple dot, so it continuous drop. And you see for this weekly chart and the monthly chart, when it dropped to this point, minimum price, there's another level of effective support around $792, and you see it exactly touches this $792 support, and it was supported, and then it started to rebound. And even on this monthly chart, it's also this support, effective support, that's $800. $800 is basically the same as $792, very similar. Based on that kind of a resolution. So for weekly chart and monthly chart, it reaches this level of support. It captured by this kind of a support, and then it is supported, it didn't break this support level, and it started to rebound. So this is a kind of trade map model, and even for this kind of a Kedna model, I have another model that's based on the Kedna the analysis model. This is the Tesla daily chart, and you see this is also based on the different level of support. And when it dropped to this one, this is also a major support line, and when it drops and exactly touches this support, it's also touched that, and then it is supported. So it didn't break and went down. So when it is supported, and then it started to rebound. And even for another model, I have another model, even for this kind of, that's a major moving average. So there's some kind of a major moving average. We track those kind of moving average level, and you see this is a Tesla weekly chart, and this is the candlestick plots of the Tesla stock price, and it went dropped to this major moving average level, and also it's almost very close to this one, but it didn't break this moving average level, so it started to rebound. So okay, so that's just a brief review of the last week. So basically the stock price was affected by some kind of news related to Federal Reserve's interest rate change or increase, and also based on the earning report change, and also affected by some other larger investors. They presented some kind of options. So it's kind of a mix of different significant or major factors. But this kind of models can also provide a relatively good track of those kind of changes of the stock price change. So okay, so many people probably will be interested in what will happen for Tesla price next week, and after this kind of a significant drop. So during the last Friday, and after it dropped to this kind of minimum price, and they started to rebound, and you see this kind of a Tesla daily chart, and it started to increase to this level. It's very close to the next level, and even for this trade map, and you see even on this trade map, and for this monthly chart, because next week there's only 1 day left for this month, for January. So this month is not totally completed yet, but it's very close to the completion of the month, and it's right now it's in the middle of this monthly chart, basically in this band. So it's in the middle of that, but right now for this weekly chart, even for this weekly chart, and it's started to rebound to this one, and this is the best scenario of the weekly fluctuation for next week. But since there's only 1 day left for January, for the next week, there's only 1 day left for this month, so it's a kind of an incomplete week. So for daily chart, there's still $900 kind of that becomes a resistance, so it could have some kind of a momentum to still go up to this kind of a resistance level. It will be struggled around this level because it may or may not break or exceed this resistance. So once it exceeded this one, it may have more momentum to increase to a little bit higher band, but it totally depends on the momentum that will happen in next Monday. So for this kind of a model, basically it also have a good prediction function, but this kind of a model, their prediction function will be effective or will be more clear when the first data is received on Monday. So, but this prediction model is a unique prediction model. It basically can predict what will happen and what the trend is for the next early week or the next month, or the basically the next day, or those type of things. So for this prediction model, so even for the monthly chart or weekly chart, there's still a kind of decreasing momentum. You see for this decreasing momentum, and when it moves to this kind of level, this is about $900. When that's $900, it's almost consistent with that resistance level for the trade map model. So when it reaches to this level, it will have a much higher resistance, and it will kind of struggling there. And for early next week, for daily chart, there's still a decreasing momentum next week, in early next week, but this kind of a decreasing momentum has already decreased, so that means it started to have some kind of increasing momentum and trying to compete with the decreasing momentum, and it is in late Friday last week, and also it already started to rebound, have more increasing momentum, and for this kind of $800, it was closed around $846, and after market it was increased to about 852, something like that. So even for this kind of weekly chart, and you see for weekly chart, it also still have a decreasing momentum next week, but since next week is also kind of a special week because it's a intersection between two different months. So right now it was closed around this area. It's very close to this next trend line, so it will may open high and around this trend line, maybe a little bit above this trend line, and it may have a little bit more increasing momentum and trying to increase, but it may increase to this kind of a range around $900. That's a kind of effective resistance there, and if it has more momentum, it may increase to this kind of $945, but it will depends, and then the next week's fluctuation, it may still be relatively big fluctuation. So when the early next week, it may have a good increasing momentum, increasing trend, but then it will have some kind of strong resistance around the $900. Basically next week the fluctuation region will be around this region, $721 to maybe like $948, and it may have some kind of fluctuation. If you are interested in this kind of evaluation and analysis, you are welcome to subscribe Uping Stock Trend Prediction channel, or search more videos by Uping Stock Trend Prediction. Search it in YouTube. Thanks for watching the video.